Can I swear?
One of the things that we talk about quite a bit is the responsibility we felt right off the bat. Not so much about, moving the needle a little bit. They needed to raise $1.3 billion in 5 years.
So really what we needed was overall 3,000 new monthly donors to help us actually achieve our goal of building a new operating suite.
3,000 is a really big number. It's bigger than any ask that we had ever received before, bigger than anything Sick Kids had ever asked for before. And I think we were all a little overwhelmed by how we were actually going to make that happen.
Sick kids sort of see numbers every day, the time that they're in the hospital, the amount of operations they go through. So it was a very mathematical, statistical sort of approach that we took to this. So sort of that was a spark to bringing it all together with the 100 Today campaign.
And actually by doing a very simple calculation, by dividing the number of donors that we needed, we landed at 100 a day.
We loved the idea of making the 100 feel small, and we saw that opportunity in the media so that in the spots where our campaign was actually going to live, that we could take data from there and use a big number like how many people ride the subway every day. We did a takeover of an airport. We had never attempted that before, to actually make the 100 feel small, and our media partners were game.
It was pretty much unanimous when we presented to the rest of the board that this was the one to go down. And really was, on behalf of Lori and the team and everyone else here, it's just how do we protect it and how do we show a version of that idea to the right people at the right time in the 9-10 months that it took to get it sold.
Our lovely creative team did come up with an amazing idea that originally didn't start with necessarily having to use real-time data, but as we got into the campaign and we started working with media, we felt that there was a real opportunity to pull in real-time data. So as we know, not all kind of partners at this point, it's easy to get access to real-time data, so it was really working closely with their IT team to make sure that we can pull in that real-time data and projections and try and help us actually showcase on a daily basis that we needed to get 100 today and where we were at throughout the process.
Take all the data in real time to ensure that we could always be like, we need 30 more today, come on Toronto, you can do this. And that was interesting.
I'm trying not to get emotional, but it's a really emotional thing to work on. It's funny, like part of me thinks, I try not to think about the end result because I think it clouds my judgment. I try to think everything we're doing here is to raise funds because that fund is gonna help somebody else. So I gotta try to think about it as a business as much as I can, because the end result is that hopefully people are gonna have a better future. There aren't a lot of shows that I can think of that really measure world-class creativity with world-class deployment, that measure results. At the end of the day, whether it's a foundation that you're working on or a car brand or a big telecom, at the end of the day, there is a conversion that we're looking for. And the way the market's working today in terms of, right content at the right time to making sure that we're closing the sale, closing the deal at the end is super important. That's the only way we show this stuff works. An emotional hook with a great way of getting the content out there is important. And Echo is measuring that, and they're keeping an eye on it. That's why.